Hello, my name is Jim Muehlhausen, founder of the University of CEO. I'd like to talk to you about a terrific program we have called TeamCEO. This is a monthly group of business owners, entrepreneurs around the world that come together on the second Wednesday of every month for an hour on the telephone. We have a teleconference, and we have 3 goals for each of these calls. What we want to do is we want to educate you, we want to motivate you, and we want to accelerate your growth or your accomplishment of your goals. It's not easy being an entrepreneur. You're kind of out there on your own little island, isolated, and it's difficult to get quality education. What we hear from entrepreneurs is that a lot of the information that they hear as speeches or presentations is all the same. It's kind of that base level 101 stuff. So we don't want to focus on any of that stuff. Read a book or something if you want the 101 stuff. What we do at TeamCEO is create proprietary education that is designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. I think that you'll find it's much different than anything else that you've seen. The other thing is we want to have actionable content, meaning if you can't take any action on the education, then it really isn't going to do you any good. So we have a monthly workbook that's included with the program that's full of exercises. And like most entrepreneurs, you'll be busy. Sometimes you'll do them all, sometimes you won't. But these are designed to help you implement the lessons that we focus on in the education. Another goal we have for TeamCEO is to get you motivated. Not necessarily that you're unmotivated, but again, entrepreneurs are stuck out there on an island by themselves. Our job is to motivate all of our people. Who motivates us? Well, we want to do that 2 ways. Part of that is my job. I will host these sessions. I am a nationally known speaker, and I will try to motivate you. But more importantly, the other entrepreneurs and CEOs on the call will motivate you. What we found is if you get a group of CEOs together, they're talking about important issues, they're like-minded individuals, and you will feed off that energy, and I promise that you'll leave that call more motivated than you came in. The last thing that we want to do is we want to accelerate. We want to accelerate your progress in accomplishing your goals. You can come into these calls with a variety of goals and expectations, and they're going to be different for everyone. What we're going to do is provide a meaningful topic, give you some actionable content that you can go out and make your business better as a result of being on the call. What we'll also do is we have what we call an accountability ping system, in that you can set up our system to remind you of what your goals were. And that's because the black hole of your business tends to suck you in and keep you busy just doing what I'll call stuff. And that the important things, the big things that are going to drive your long-term goals, sometimes get lost in that black hole. So we're going to give you a ping every now and then to remind you how to get out of that black hole. And then we want to give you a lot of best practices. We're going to provide best practices that we learn from CEOs around the country. We will share those with you. In addition, you're going to hear them from other people on the call, and it will certainly be worth the small investment that TeamCEO costs. How the program works is pretty simple. We meet on the second Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time of every month via teleconference, and we're going to record those, so if you can't make one, we'll send you an MP3 and you can listen to it yourself along with all the materials. Some of the topics that we're going to cover are what business owners want to hear. Topics like how to thrive in a down economy. In fact, there's a 3-prong attack to what you can do in a down economy. It's not just try harder. It's not sit in your corner and suck the thumb. We have a proprietary program that we call Business Model Secrets. It talks about how to actually take 87 methodologies and improve your business model. One of our most popular ones is called Creating a Proven and Repeatable Sales Process. We call that a PRSP. What that means is we want to have your sales and marketing process be like a light switch, where if we want more sales and more prospects, we can walk over, flip a switch, and create that. What we've found is that almost every single business does not have a proven and repeatable sales process. The best ones have something close to it, but they're always missing some holes. Once we create a proven and repeatable sales process, it does several things. Number 1, your reliance on salespeople goes down. They don't owe you anymore. Number 2, you can actually pay salespeople less. Number 3, your mediocre and poor salespeople get significantly better, and you're not reliant upon those superstars. And then most importantly, you own your sales process, not your salespeople, and your process becomes predictable. Some really good outcomes. We have something else that we call 98-2 delegation. Concept of this is that most tasks are not completely delegable, or 100-0. Delegating 100% of a task is actually impossible for most entrepreneurs. So what we want to do is carve out what we call the Picasso work, the 2% that is undelegable. We'll show you how to figure that out, what to do with it, and you will find that you're a much better entrepreneurial delegator once you've gone through this program. How to create an operations plan. How do we systematize your business so that you are not so reliant, that you don't have to go in every day, you don't have to worry about going on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks and the place is not going to run well. It should run well if you're gone for 3 weeks. We'll show you how to do that. Creating an automated hiring process. We'll actually give you one of the tools as a sign-up bonus on how to do this, of what we call video FAQ. But there are ways to create a hiring process. If you think about how you hire someone, a lot of it is you selling the candidate on how great it is to work for your company. That can be automated in a lot of ways. It's a waste of time to continue to do that same work over and over again. There's a way to automate it, and the good news about this process is it actually recruits better than doing it manually. We use it for IT companies in particular, where it's competitive to get great people. How to create a sales compensation structure. There's lots of sales compensation structures that over-reward the salespeople for fairly ordinary or mediocre work. There's ways to fix that. There's ways to compensate salespeople in a way that's fair to them, yet gives you a much more powerful sales force. Sales process engineering. This is kind of a new concept that's been coming around for about 5 years. And what sales process engineering is tweaking the sales process and segmenting it, much like an assembly line segmented the building of a car. You know, back in 1900, you had a group of 3 or 4 men that built a car, and they did everything. Well, then Henry Ford came out with the assembly line and broke it into smaller pieces. It got much more efficient. We'll do the same thing. You don't have to have 15 people to do this. In fact, you can have one person and do sales process engineering. What it does is, first and foremost, it lowers cost. It does lower the cost of sales. What we've also found in doing sales process engineering is that it will actually increase sales while decreasing the cost. Another one's called Web 2.0 for CEOs. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what to do with Facebook. Is it important or is it unimportant? For the most part, it's unimportant. However, you cannot ignore Facebook and Twitter and all this Web 2.0 stuff. There are parts of it that for every business, even manufacturers, business to business, industrial businesses, this stuff does in fact matter. We'll help you segment the garbage from the part that's extremely important. We have a fun one called Welcome to the Age of Disseminated Video. Kind of goes through the history of video, but this one has some very bold predictions in it about the future of how businesses will use video. And I think that you need to understand the principles behind this and how you can leverage that. Another one's called PR is the New Advertising, how to leverage it. Much less traditional media advertising, and I know that our crowd, the business-to-business crowd, doesn't do television or radio for the most part. However, PR, and in particular web PR, is extremely important to every single business in America and around the world. There are ways to leverage that inexpensively that everyone needs to know how to do. We'll show you how to do it and give you some success stories. That's another thing that's really important with the program is I believe that business owners learn by case studies and stories, and so we tell lots of them because smart business owners can take a story, ferret out the parts that are important to them, and kind of run a filter on it, and then bring those best practices in a modified form into their own business. I found that that's the best way that business owners learn. Aside from the monthly call, there's a few other things that you get with the program. Certainly, we're going to give you some sign-up bonuses. We've got some materials that we've accumulated over the years that we'd like to share with you. As I mentioned, there's the workbook and the exercises that come every month. That's really important because ideas are great, but an unimplemented idea just isn't worth anybody's time, yours or mine. So we want to make sure that you can take the content and implement it. We'll share tips and best practices every month, anything from cool websites that can help improve your SEO to products. You know, we're out there talking to CEOs around the world. We bump into a lot of best practices. We'll share those with you. We do record the call, as I mentioned, send it to you in MP3. We will give you a transcript of the call. Also, if you're a reader, not a listener. We have the bi-monthly accountability reminders, and then we also do have Q&A support. So if you have a question regarding anything, but in particular around the material, feel free to send it to me or my staff, and we'll do our best to answer those questions for you. How does this help you? I think that it's very difficult to be a genius on your own little island. As soon as we start a business, we're kind of like Tom Hanks in Castaway. We're stuck on this own island. And if you saw the movie, you remember what happened to him over time. He literally started to go insane being alone. And being a business owner, it may not feel like you're alone, but you are. You've got all these people running around in your business, but all of them work for you, which means that you don't have a high-quality sounding board. You don't have ways to get CEO-level ideas. These people all work for you. It's your job to motivate and to lead them. Who's there for you? Who's your sounding board? Where do you get your ideas from? And this isolation does not cause good business decisions, and it's not particularly conducive for creativity as well. And that's part of our job. We want to give you a constant flow of new ideas and content that can keep you motivated and informed. And then it's your job to take action. You have to take the content that we give you and take action on it, and that's where your ROI is going to come from. It should be pretty easy to get ROI because the program's pretty inexpensive. It's $1 to try it. We'd love to have you on a call to try it out, but I'm not a big fan of doing something for free. You got to at least give me $1 to try it out. And then it's $39.95 per month. We don't have any contract. Just cancel it if you don't want it. As I mentioned, the second Wednesday of each month at 7 p.m. Eastern is when the live calls are. We do record them and send them out to all of our TeamCEO members as well, usually the next day. We do have some pretty neat sign-up bonuses. Now, some of these are available immediately. Some of you get over time with your membership. But one of the ones that you get immediately is a neat little computer widget called Video FAQ. And as you can see, here's one where a personal client of mine used it to create an automated hiring process. And if you click on any of those buttons, it jumps through the video and plays that. He posts this on his web. I paid a computer design firm to create the graphics and the code for this. It's quite elegant and simple. I will send you this code. It is very easy, even if you're not a computer person, to have this implemented on your website. You'll have to shoot your videos, but I'm going to give you this code that cost me well in excess of $1,000. I put the value at $1,000 it costs. I assure you it cost me more than that to create this code, and you can drop it on your website. There's nothing that is proprietary about the code. You just would have to pay someone to create it. But these video FAQs have been very powerful in my business. I would encourage you to use them as well. Some of the other things that we'll give you are these ebooks. There are 8 ebooks that you see, and they're on a variety of topics. Some of them are sales and marketing related. We have one on how to deal with lawyers as a non-practicing lawyer. There are several, I'll call them tricks, that can help you manage your legal bills significantly. We have been able to save clients hundreds of thousands of dollars on their legal bills and get them better legal service. I think that many small business owners don't engage lawyers because they think it's going to be too expensive, and then they leave themselves at the mercy of the other person that they're having a conflict with because they will engage lawyers. That is a very simple problem to solve, for instance, that is addressed in this ebook. The last thing is I want to give you access to the library at the University of CEO. We are constantly updating this and adding materials that are good for entrepreneurs to this. Again, it's designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. So check out the library every now and then and see what bonuses are in there for you. You can sign up for the program by simply visiting onlineCEOgroup.com, onlineCEOgroup.com. What this will do is you'll put your credit card in, it'll charge you $1, and then if you like it, don't do anything and join us on the call the next month, and it'll be $39.95 from that point forward. I look forward to participating with you on our next Team CEO call. I'm Jim Muehlhausen.